So you can take white, some gray, some almost black. Make it darker. Darker. There, like that. Okay. And then, no matter what you have, if you have yellow, you're not going to add very much white because yellow is already really light. So if you're using yellow, you'll probably just use like these dark grays. Okay. There's a dark one. And of course it's green because yellow makes everything green because it's the worst color ever. Okay. But you can run from that yellow, you know, to this yellow. To this yellow. And then it's fairly easy because you know how to do this. So all of those are acceptable yellows. Plus you can use the yellow all by itself, the way I did it here. And you can make it anything you want, but so it's white, gray, black, tinting, toning, shading. Because blue and magenta are so dark already, you will probably use more white with them than you would. Okay. Lighter, lighter. Okay. Not light enough. That'll be my medium one. You know, and then your dark one would be out. The darkest they get is out of the tube. You know. Plus black, sorry, black with, where's my black there? Okay, ooh, that's yummy. It looks like some kind of nasty jam. Okay. Weird, right? So here you have a broader range. You have a little more flexibility. The thing is, you only are picking one color. And it really doesn't matter which one. Just know what the limitations of all of them are. Okay. Just need more room. Yes, please. You can do that while I do this. So I'm just going to use yellow as an example. Black and white. And gray. You guys okay? What's up? Huh? There's a lot of giggling going on back there. What's going on? I don't know. I can't say. Thank you. So now I'm back working on Suzanne and her bottles. So now I can take the yellow. And I'm going to do the same thing that I did on the original and paint her hand of really like the lights. I'm going to make this like yellow. And I'm going to make the flowers that way too. So it's like I said, this is simpler because all you're doing is light and dark and you're mixing fewer colors together. And two of them really aren't colors at all. They're just black and white. So I'll take this. Now I'm going to add just a little bit of gray. And I'll paint the bar that color. And this, like your grayscales, is where you have to use what you learned about making judgments about grays that are really, really similar to one another, only now you have to contend with it being color. So it's the same kind of thing from the grayscale and the emphasis paintings. So I'm looking at, you know, the bar is a little bit dark. This is the lightest thing, is her forearm. The next lightest is the bar, so I've done it that way. Then this is pretty light too. That's what I did in the first one, like that. The tops of the champagne bottles. Okay. Now, when there's something kind of in the middle, like this orange, I'm going to add just a little bit of black to it. And paint the mandarins that way. Now, of course, they don't look as good, you know, as they did in the original painting. And you see what I'm doing? I'm adding a little water to it. because I'm working real fast. So you are freed from the prison of not adding water to your colors. Indeed. Slightly darker, and I use the squint test where I squint just to so I don't see the detail, but these reflections on the glass are darker than the mandarins. So I'm going to add a little bit more black, maybe a little gray. Yeah. Okay, those are going to be there. Boom, boom, boom. Even darker, and I'm just adding a little gray, and they're going to add more black onto it to make it pretty dark. Are these like the bottom of this bottle, the Bass Ale bottle, even darker. I want more black. Those are really dark. Like I did before with the bottles. Sure, if you want, can you use white by itself? For sure. But everything's going to basically be kind of yellow. Now, you really can get darker than you can with this assignment. The triad will only let you get so dark. Now that you have black, you can make things as dark as they need to be. So if you want to make her skirt and her jacket, super dark, it's okay to use black by itself. Don't over-rely on it, because black by itself is so dark that it just sucks the life out of the color. So if it's really dark like this, I would even add more black. Yeah, that's pretty close. Boom, boom, boom. And, as we know from the emphasis paintings and other assignments, you can always paint over it. If you want to, I'm like, I don't know about that. Is that light enough? I don't know. But I can come back in and paint more black on top. Same rules with the buttons. Do it all over again. Only now you're doing it with yellow instead of just pure white. It's more fun if you use the color. Try to avoid using black and white out of the tube if you can. So it was 8. So I go back here again and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now finish up the other black parts here. The sleeve. And I'm doing this, as I said before, I just happened to pick yellow. You can do whatever color you want, but it will be different than what I'm doing here. Why? Because, as I said, these colors operate differently. You're going to be using more light grays and more white added to these, not quite as much black. But with the yellow, you got to use a lot of black and a lot of gray. That's why I picked it for the demo, so you can just see the range that you can get. Okay. Then this one's kind of in the middle here. I can take more yellow. Every now and then it dries up, you got to add a little bit more. Yeah, this is that color. But actually, this is that color. As I mentioned, if you can find something where it actually is the same color that's in the original of what you're presenting me with, go for it. Okay. And there's a little slightly darker one down here. Darker bottle back here. Yeah, we're almost done. You guys will be okay. Quick little light yellow highlights for the bottle just because it's fun. So today will be mostly you guys blocking out the color. And then we'll get into the detail parts of it next week. But this will at least give me a chance to watch you guys start laying the color out and stop you or change direction if it looks like you might be you're making different decisions, because again, it's a brand new assignment, so you don't know how it works. But so that's what they'll look like. So one will be very saturated, like the three primary colors almost, red, green, and blue, although it's cyan, magenta, yellow. And this will be much more desaturated. And it's in monochrome. It's one color. Everything will simply be a different shade of yellow or magenta or cerulean. And they stay, to remind you, if you haven't started this yet, it stays on one board. Okay? Don't cut the board in half and have separate boards like you did for the emphasis paintings. Just have one board. So if you have yet to trace it, please do it that way. Okay? Because some of you guys are ready to go. I know you are. Like, you already started painting before I did the demo, which is fine. Yeah. Question? Oh, you were like waving. I didn't. Okay. Everybody all right? Everybody got their paint? Everybody know what they need to do? Who still owes me? Actually, let me turn this off.